Welcome to my YouTube channel. I am Odile Joseph Enemona and this is my YouTube channel. Please, I implore you to click on the subscribe button, turn on the notification bell so that you get notified whenever I post a new YouTube video. On here, I do book reviews, I do poems and poetry, everything that concerns book, poetry, and my amazing life. So let's get into it. So, on today's YouTube video, we're going to be having my thoughts on Abidari's book, The Girl with a Louding Voice. I want to say first that this book has been an eye opener for me. And in Nigerian, I personally I haven't ever been put into the system of domestic help, but this is a system that is very common in Nigeria. So Abidari writes a book on a Nigerian girl who leaves a village called Ikati and comes to Lagos where she's been put into domestic house help system. This is a system that is very common in Nigeria. You find girls from rural areas coming into urban areas to work as domestic help, to do menial work, and in most cases, it doesn't actually play out well. In most cases, especially when these girls are uneducated, when they are very young and tender. Now, a girl called Aduni in Abidari's book, The Louding Voice, a girl called Aduni is brought to Lagos to do menial work because her family is very poor and she has been married off to a man who she doesn't want to get married to. She's been married up to a man, and in that household, she was put through so many heartbreaking situations where, if for a young girl of her age, barely a teenager, to go through is bad. And this man just wants her to have a child for him, probably two children, and then that's it. He's done with her. So she doesn't want this for her life, especially after what her mother had told her when she was much younger that an education would give her a loud voice. But does she even want a loud voice? No, she wants a loud voice. Now she goes through this and finally finds a way to get out of Ikati onto Lagos. And in Lagos here, she's put in menial work. Here she meets a man called Big Daddy and his wife called Big Mommy and the gate man Abu, the very funny gate man. She meets a Ghanaian who lives in Nigeria, and for me, the most interesting part of this book is when she met the doctor and his wife, because I feel there is this. I am a very sentimental person. So when I meet people or get things that mean a lot to me, that impact my life, I tend to hold on to them. So finding a girl that meets somebody that's ready to put her through life, that takes her interest at heart and looks for ways to better her life, I feel very, 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 very connected to such books. So this is the reason why I'm even very connected to the girl with the loud voice. She meets the doctor's wife and the doctor, and she becomes very connected with them. And the doctor's wife takes her through a spree of events where she takes her to the market to help her haggle price. And knowing Adini, she's very good at haggling. She helps her haggle price where she buys clothes. They become very close friends. Now the twist here is when the doctor's wife was now in a problem. At first it was Adini in a problem and she wanted to help Adini through life. But now it is the doctor's wife in a problem. And what is this problem? Her mother-in-law had been disturbing her and her husband for grandchildren. Now, this is something that is very common in Nigeria. After the first year, sometimes after the first 6 months of your marriage, if you don't have a child or you're not pregnant, people describe you or people see you or perceive you to be barren or to be fruitless or to be useless sometimes. At the worst, they'll tell you you are useless. And in some families, some cultures, you get parents disturbing their male children to get married to another wife. Probably this wife will bring a new child. But the point here is that the doctor and his wife had made a merger. They made an agreement not to have a child until they were ready. But here comes the parents of the doctor disturbing them for children. And how did they go about this? Now the interesting part comes when she finally falls into the hands of the doctor's mother, and the mother takes her to a priest for prayers and deliverance. And after so many horrifying processes that is very common in Nigeria, I've heard of stories where people actually die from conversion therapy. Yes, they have died. You should go to read it. The Girl with the Loudest Voice truly makes us realize, it makes us reflect on the fact that our voice matters. Not settling for anything is important. Don't be complacent with a situation that doesn't suit well with you just because you don't want to have a problem with somebody. She was living under the roof of a very wealthy Nigerian, yet she still found the need to speak out our own interest, to speak for our own interest, to speak out our own opinions on certain matters, especially about the house help that preceded her. And she wanted to know what happened to this house help. Very, 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 very twisting realization that people we think are the devil aren't actually people who are the devil. Go read this book, The Girl with the Loudest Voice.